Hello everybody. In today's video we are going to analyze an exposition from one of you who asked a question regarding the jinns, angels, afterlife, and if we could interpret these things in a rational way and still be considered a believer. But I want to, in order to reply or to explain in a better way for many people who will watch this video, the beliefs, acceptance of jinns, angels, afterlife and similar things, I want to say that first of all, the belief in angels, jinns is one of the pillars of faith of Islam. Meaning someone who is a Muslim, in order to be a Muslim, you have to believe in the existence of spiritual beings that we call them angels, jinns. In the other monotheistic religions, Judaism, Christianity, it is accepted that they believe in angels, jinns. They might call it, also they might use other names, demons, spirits. But the point is that this belief, it is accepted in the three monotheistic religions and in also other religions besides the Abrahamic ones that we know. And is accepted in a literal sense that these are other forms of creation by God. When God created the universe and everything that forms it, the earth and everything, first human beings and everything, he also created other forms of creation, spiritual creations that we call them angels, and he created also the jinns. And regarding these are other forms of life that exists in the same way that we as human beings exist in this world. There's another form of spiritual creation. Now, some rationalistic people within Islam and also in other currents of the philosophical thought have come to the conclusion that these things cannot be taken literally but in an allegorical way, and that this could be explained in a rational way, trying to bring in philosophy as to prove that, well, these are myths or ancient legends. When you read the text and explain and says these names, don't take it literally but just as allegorical things. Well, I have to say that this is not the accepted evidence that we have from the actual text, neither from the scholars of Islam, neither from the scholars of the other monotheistic religions. The majority of scholars, everybody agrees that when the Quran and other revealed books from God speaks of angels, we are talking about literally of angels, another form of creation. It's not an allegorical thing or is not a myth, it's accepted as the truth. There are angels and there are jinns also. Therefore, even though that there are scholars like the Mu'tazila in the past, and even rationalistic people in today's world who are trying to bring reason to say, well, this is not true, is mythology, they are simply making a mistake, because those who want to bring in Greek philosophy, because we know that the Greeks are the point of reference for this, they are simply mistaken in the assumption that the Greeks didn't believe in this, and it is all the contrary. The Greek philosophers and the Greeks did believe in the existence of angels and demons or jinns. They also believe in this, and the philosophers spoke about it. The philosophers accepted an afterlife, life after death, that the soul goes out and there's life after the physical, meaning the afterlife or life in paradise. There might be slightly different ideas of understanding how we understand it in Islam and how perhaps they understood it, but in the consensus is in general that they did believe in an afterlife. There's a reward. They believe in the existence of good beings or angels and the existence of bad beings or demons. Therefore, those who bring in philosophy cannot prove the point, because the philosophers themselves believe in these things. Today, people think that Aristotle, Plato, these people are reason, rationalistic, and they think that they even compare this as atheism. They think that these people were atheists, and I'm speaking here in general, in the English-speaking world, in the Arabic world, in the Spanish world, People think that the philosophers were atheists that didn't believe in God or these things. This is all mistaken. The philosophers, they believe in God, and they almost, all the philosophers talking about God, talking about predestination, free will, afterlife, the soul. All of these are the topics of Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. They all believe in these things. They might have arrived to different conclusions at some point. Like I said, there might be slightly difference, but the point is that they believe in these things. Absolutely yes. Therefore, for those who want to justify this, quoting from this ancient past, they are misinterpreting the sources or changing or twisting the sources in trying to push their own ideas. But it's a reality that the acceptance of belief in angels, jinns, and afterlife, it is accepted by the three great monotheistic religions. But it's not simply accepted because, oh, you have to believe in this and that's it without question. No, there is evidence. Even people who at some point did not believe in this have come to believe when certain things happen in their life, and they have to acknowledge the existence of these beings. We find many stories in the Quran. In fact, there is a surah al-Jinn. It's about the jinns. So the Quran is pointing clearly that these beings were created by God, the Creator, and the angels also. And there are many hadith and stories of the Prophet in the encounter with many jinns, and how he even went to talk and to preach them and to bring them into Islam, and how many jinns accepted Islam. And in the same way, there are jinns who are Jewish, who are Christians, and who are Muslims. And in the Jewish conception, there is also belief that there are spirits who profess the Jewish religion. The same way is belief in Islam. Therefore, to try, any scholar who tries to deny these things is simply going against the revelation of God and going against the book of God. The book of God, the Quran, and the previous revelation of the Torah and the Gospels and these books from the Christians. They all believe these things the same as in Islam is accepted the belief in angels, jinns, afterlife. Therefore, how could a scholar bring in a different interpretation and try to bring, when they try to hang with reason and say, oh, this could, no, don't take this literal, take it as something else. This scholar is simply going against the books of God. Is simply going against the revelation from God and what is attested and accepted. Even people who are not neither from the three monotheistic religions, they accept the existence of these beings. And there are many stories. We know that how the Quran came to be. It was the revelation through the angel gave it to the Prophet. If we try to deny this, we will deny everything. We will deny the revelation of the Quran, we will deny the revelation of the Torah, the revelation of the previous religions, all the prophets from God, how God communicates with human beings through angels. So, to try to deny these things, to deny everything, is to deny Islam, is to deny the Quran, is to deny all the things that we know from the beginning of time. So, the scholar who is bringing these things is simply a heretic, in other words. In today's world, we find there are people who perhaps don't want to use the word angels or spirits or demons, and they use alternative words. They call it energies. And it doesn't matter. We're still talking about the same thing. We're making reference to the same beings created by God. Therefore, anyone who calls himself or herself a scholar and wants to deny these things is simply going against what has been revealed by God, is going against the prophets of God, is going against the book of God. So, of course, if you deny these things, I don't know how a person could call himself a believer, because he's simply denying everything. He's simply denying, like I said, if denying the existence of angels or trying to bring any alternative explanation is like, but the whole Quran was revealed through an angel. We know the story how the angel Gabriel revealed in the Quran, and many other expositions and analysis that we find, like I said, in the different other books, that is accepted, is a pillar of faith in Islam, the acceptance and recognition of these entities and these beings, other forms of creation by God. So whoever tries to deny this and bring other forms of exposition is simply going against everything. And we cannot accept the belief or the scholar who trying to be smarter than God than to believe in God himself. We believe what God says, not what any human being said. A human being who came to change this thing, why you have to trust this guy who is an imperfect human being, imperfect knowledge, limited understanding of things? If you say that, oh, because I never seen these things, I don't believe. Well, if you have never seen it, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It exists. It's simply something that is hidden to you. Scientists try to discover things, and they are trying to always discover the mysteries of the universe. And when something new is discovered, they announce it. Oh, we discovered this and that. It's like it's something new. It's not new. These are simply things that God created, and human beings, we don't know. Now we are finding it out. Oh, but this has been since the beginning of times. In the same way, many rationalistic scientists and thinkers who want to bring science and say, oh, these things are not true, don't believe this. What do they know? Nothing. Simply because they ignore something they think is false. But if you ignore something, it's not false. It's your ignorance, that you have limited knowledge of reality and you don't know the secrets of God. And again, this is an important aspect for a believer, the recognition that there are other forms of creation, angels, jinns, the acceptance and the recognition of an afterlife is important. The day of judgment. These are all important aspects of the monotheistic religion, the Islamic religion, the revelation of the Quran, the teachings of the Prophet, and all the prophets, because it's the same revelation. Therefore, it's complicated to say that someone who doesn't believe in these things, you cannot say this person is a Muslim or neither a Jew or a Christian if you don't accept these things, because you're simply denying your own book, denying the word of God and denying the message of the prophets. Therefore, this person doesn't belong to the religion of God then if you deny these things. I'm analyzing even this from a logical perspective, because someone to be a Muslim, you have to believe in this. If you don't, then how could you be a Muslim? And for the Jew who believe in this, if you don't believe, then you are not. And if for the Christian, the same. So it's a very important aspect for a believer, someone who claims to follow the religion of God, the revelation throughout time, coming from the prophets from the past, from the Prophet Adam to the Prophet Abraham and all the prophets until the Prophet Muhammad. So try to bring another explanation into deny, say this is not true or this is mythology, is simply someone who is not really following the steps of the prophets. And it's not fanaticism or blindly believing things. No, these things have been accepted and proved, because the proof that what's the proof that the scriptures from the past were revealed from God? The Quran is revealed from God, that it was revealed through an angel, the things that says is true. Someone who denies these things is denying the truth of the Quran, and the truth of is denying everything. So then, like I said again, going against this thing, then the person clearly cannot be a Muslim or a believer in any religion that the person follows, if it's the monotheistic religions, because these are important aspects of faith, important aspects of religion, and recognizes as something rational, and by rational it means true. These are realities that exist, other forms of creation, and it's a recognition of an important truths revealed from God to humankind. So I hope that this is a clear answer, reply to many people, because there are many people that perhaps they might read different things from different authors and people who call themselves scholars, and I don't know what these scholars I'm bringing quotes from, and then they are simply going against the revelation from God, against the Prophet, against the Book of God, against everything. So how can you claim to be a scholar of Islam and you're denying these things? What kind of scholars are these? So it's important to clarify these things. It doesn't matter, oh, it's written in such and such book, in what such and such book, by such and such scholar. This is a human being. I don't know what's going on with his head, and he's changing the word of God, he's changing everything. This is someone that cannot be trusted and should be discarded completely. So we have to watch out for these people or these things who sometimes hide themselves behind a religion, and they try to bring their own ideas, hiding in the name of Islam or in the name of any other religion, but at the end they're just human beings trying to twist things. And even the Prophet spoke about this, that there will come people after the prophets, and they claim that they have other kind of knowledge, superior, even going against the revelation from God, and they try to lead people astray and to change their minds and confuse people. So the Prophet themselves warn us against these people who, in the name of the religion, in the name of speaking in the name of God, they're trying to change things. So it's important to not read these books, and they recognize that they're simply destroying everything that we know that is true. If they want to input in the minds of people lies and confuse people, confusing people in reality and leading people astray. So we have to watch out and be careful with these things. So it's important to someone who is having these doubts and confusion to read more the book of God, to learn from the example of the prophets, and we will see how many stories and encounter with angels and with jinns and the afterlife and many explanations, get closer to God, and hopefully, God willing, you will remove all doubt from your mind, and you will come to accept things as God has revealed them throughout time, from the beginning until our very day, has been established and accepted and verified by through time, through the prophets, and through the books that God have revealed, and through the revelation of the Quran and the teachings and the deeds of the Prophet Muhammad, and the ones who are truthful and the ones who are the true scholars. They all recognize the truth of the Quran, the truth of the message, and deny all these false things from the so-called scholars who deny these things. So, as always, thank you so much for your attention. God willing, if you have more questions, if you have anything else to ask from a historical point of view, because I'm bringing here not only religion, I'm bringing here history, I'm bringing philosophy, and I'm bringing an analysis from the other monotheistic religions as well. So I'm bringing a proof of an evidence that cannot be contended, neither can be denied. Therefore, if you have questions, comments, you're welcome to write to me, leave your comments, and God willing, I'll try to reply. And I hope that these answers are useful for all of you. There are many people who want to know about this topic. Thank you so much, and we'll see each other in the next video.